All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we're diving deep into the world of the Knights Templar.
Ah, the Templars.
You bet. And I have to say, the excerpts you sent over from Secrets of the Knights Templar, wow, talk about a rabbit hole.
They really do capture the imagination, don't they?
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking about everything from their origins protecting pilgrims to the whispers of secret treasures and even those legendary curses.
Oh, yes, all of that and more.
So before we get too deep into those juicy details, let's set the stage a bit. Imagine you're a pilgrim in the Middle Ages setting out for the Holy Land.
Not exactly a walk in the park, was it?
Not even close.
It was a journey fraught with danger at every turn.
You've got pirates and shipwrecks at sea, bandits and scorching deserts on land.
And of course, the constant threat of attack from those who didn't share their faith.
Right. I mean, our source material even includes this chilling account from Ceolwulf of Canterbury, a pilgrim himself.
Ah, yes, say
He
what?
wrote about travelers being attacked and left to rot on the road between Jaffa and Jerusalem.
A grim reminder of the very real dangers pilgrims faced.
So it's in this context of danger and religious fervor that the Knights Templar emerge.
Yes, the First Crusade had just resulted in the capture of Jerusalem.
Huge moment in history.
And those newly established Crusader states desperately needed a way to protect the influx of pilgrims heading to those sacred sites.
Makes sense.
Now, the origins of the Templars, they're a bit shrouded in mystery.
Oh, I love a good mystery.
Was it solely the brainchild of Hugh de Paynes, as some believe?
As the story goes, right.
Or was there a more elaborate plan in motion, orchestrated perhaps by even more powerful figures?
Okay, now you've got my attention.
I mean, we have figures like Hugh de Champagne, a nobleman of considerable influence.
And he ends up joining the Templars.
He does, swearing allegiance to Hugh de Paynes, his former vassal.
That's fascinating, that power dynamic shift.
It certainly adds another layer of intrigue to their origin story.
All right, so we have these warrior monks, the Templars, sworn to protect pilgrims.
But they needed support, recognition on a grander scale.
And that's where Bernard of Clairvaux comes in, right? This powerhouse within the church.
Exactly, Bernard of Clairvaux.
He was like their champion, their PR guy.
The very influential figure.
He drafted their rule, got them recognized by the Pope.
He really was instrumental in their rise to prominence.
It's funny, though, because Bernard was all about simplicity,
With the Cistercian order, yes.
advocating for simple architecture, austere living.
But the Templars seemed to develop quite a taste for the finer things,
Right. It makes you wonder about their relationship with wealth and power.
especially compared to other monastic orders focused primarily on prayer and contemplation.
The Templars were very much engaged in the world, both in warfare and in commerce.
That's a key distinction.
All right, let's talk about a place that looms large in the Templar story, the Temple of Solomon.
A place steeped in mystery and legend.
It's fascinating how much debate there is about it.
Outside of religious texts, the historical evidence is pretty scant.
Yet it's captured the imaginations of people like Isaac Newton.
Oh yes, Newton and many others.
He believed in Solomon's supernatural powers, even the legend of his flying carpet.
It really blurs the lines between history and myth.
And speaking of powerful symbols, what about Solomon's seal, that six-pointed star?
Ah yes, a symbol with a complex and multi-layered history,
Originally holding spiritual significance in Islamic tradition,
later adopted as the Star of David, a symbol of Jewish identity.
it shows how symbols can evolve and be reinterpreted across cultures.
Absolutely.
Now, the Temple of Solomon, assuming it existed, was said to house an object of immense power,
The Ark of the Covenant.
a sacred chest containing the stone tablets of the Ten Commandments.
A physical manifestation of God's covenant with Moses.
It's like something straight out of Indiana Jones. And then it vanishes,
Disappears from the biblical accounts before the Babylonian destruction of the temple.
sparking endless theories.
Was it destroyed, hidden, or perhaps even spirited away to some distant land?
Our sources point to a detail in 2 Chronicles, suggesting King Josiah might have hidden the Ark 20 years before the Babylonians even showed up.
That's a fascinating possibility.
Imagine, hidden somewhere within the Temple Mount itself.
Or perhaps moved to a secret location outside of Jerusalem.
The mystery continues.
It does indeed.
Even as recently as 2009, Israeli rabbis tried to excavate the area,
Hoping to find the Ark's hidden chamber.
but they had to abandon their efforts due to all the political and religious pressure.
A sensitive subject, to say the least.
The Ark, much like the temple that housed it, remains elusive.
For now, at least.
All right, the Temple of Solomon might be lost to history, but we have the Dome of the Rock, built right on the site of the ancient Temple Mount.
And the Templars were fascinated by it.
They studied its architecture, incorporated elements into their own buildings across Europe.
A clear sign of its influence.
What I find fascinating is that the Dome of the Rock's measurements intentionally echo those of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
Connecting those two sacred sites through architecture.
It's like a deliberate statement.
It makes you wonder about the deeper meanings behind their choices.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting, the pentagram.
Ah, yes, a symbol with a long and complex history.
It pops up in various cultures, from ancient Mesopotamia to early Christianity.
Some even believe it was used as the seal of Jerusalem.
So, did the Templars adopt it because of its connection to Jerusalem? Or did it hold some deeper, more esoteric meaning for them?
It's another one of those Templar puzzles that keeps us guessing.
And let's not forget that these knights, aside from being warriors and builders, were also incredibly savvy with finances.
They were pioneers in banking,
Developed a sophisticated system of credit and safe passage for pilgrims.
essentially laying the groundwork for modern banking practices.
I mean, how wild is that? These warrior monks shaping the financial world.
It was a revolutionary system.
Pilgrims could deposit funds in Europe and withdraw them in the East.
It made pilgrimage safer and also shifted the church's view on money lending.
It's amazing how much influence they had.
They were a force to be reckoned with.
But as we know, their story doesn't have a happy ending.
Power, greed, and betrayal ultimately led to their downfall.
King Philip V of France, deeply in debt to the Templars, saw an opportunity.
To seize their assets and consolidate his own power.
Fabricated charges of heresy, brutal torture, forced confessions.
A truly dark chapter in their history.
The story of Jacques de Molay, their last Grand Master, is particularly heartbreaking.
Imprisoned, tortured, and ultimately executed.
But even in the face of death, he maintained the order's innocence.
A defiant act that cemented his place as a martyr.
And then there's the legend of the Templar curse,
From the stake, de Molay allegedly cursed King Philip and Pope Clement V.
predicting their deaths within a year.
And both men did die within that time frame.
Coincidence? Maybe.
Or a chilling example of the enduring power of belief and the weight of a dying man's words.
All right, so we've covered their rise, their fall, their impact on the world.
But what about the Templar treasure?
The big question, where did it go? Did it even exist?
Those questions have fueled speculation for centuries.
We'll dive into those theories and more when we return for part 2 of our deep dive into the secrets of the Knights Templar.
Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, Templar enthusiasts. Last time, we dove headfirst into the world of the Knights Templar, exploring their origins, their dramatic rise and fall, and those enduring mysteries that continue to swirl around them.
Yes, and we ended on a cliffhanger, didn't we?
We did. The question of the Templar treasure, its existence, its whereabouts, it's like a giant question mark hanging over their legacy.
And it's a question that has sparked countless theories and sent treasure hunters on wild goose chases for centuries.
So let's unpack some of those theories, shall we? Where could this legendary treasure be hidden?
Well, one theory suggests that the Templars, sensing their impending doom, smuggled their wealth out of France before the arrests could even take place.
Smart move if they pulled it off.
Indeed, but the question remains, where did they take it?
Our source material mentions Scotland, Switzerland, even a remote Danish island called Bornholm, each with its own set of tantalizing legends.
Let's start with Scotland, a land steeped in history, known for its rugged landscapes and fierce independence.
And conveniently ruled by King Robert the Bruce, who just happened to be excommunicated by the Pope at the time, and openly defied Philip V's demands to arrest the Templars in Scotland.
Ah, yes, Robert the Bruce, a thorn in Philip's side.
So could the Templars have sought refuge there, perhaps offering a share of their treasure in exchange for protection?
It's certainly a possibility.
It's like something out of a movie, the exiled knights finding safe haven in a land that mirrored their own values of courage and defiance.
And there's even the legend of Templar knights fighting alongside Robert the Bruce at the Battle of Bannockburn, though historians debate its accuracy.
Right, but even if they weren't directly involved in the battle, maybe they provided financial support or logistical expertise operating from the shadows.
Their skills would have been invaluable.
And let's not forget that Scotland has a long history of providing sanctuary to those fleeing persecution, adding another layer of symbolism to the theory.
A land of refuge.
Okay, so Scotland is one intriguing possibility.
But let's not discount Switzerland.
Ah, yes. Switzerland, land of majestic mountains, impenetrable fortresses, and a long-standing reputation for banking secrecy.
Could those very mountains be hiding Templar treasure vaults, guarded by generations of sworn protectors.
The image alone is enough to get the heart racing.
And then there's the curious case of the Swiss flag, with its white cross on a red background.
Strikingly similar to the Templar banner, wouldn't you say?
Indeed.
Coincidence? Perhaps, but it certainly adds fuel to the speculation.
It makes you wonder if there was some connection, some influence the Templars might have had on Switzerland's rise as a financial powerhouse.
A hidden hand guiding events from behind the scenes.
Now, let's venture even further afield, to the Baltic Sea, to the remote island of Bornholm.
Bornholm, what's so special about Bornholm?
This island is home to 4 unique, round churches, architecturally distinct from anything else you'll find in Scandinavia.
Round churches. Okay, I'm intrigued.
They have this distinct fortress-like appearance, which has led some to believe they were built by the Templars to safeguard their treasure.
Churches as treasure vaults. That's a new one.
While there's no direct archaeological evidence to support this theory, the mystery surrounding these churches is undeniable.
Why were they built in such an isolated location? Who designed them? And why that unusual round shape?
The questions linger, keeping the possibility alive.
It's like a real-life Da Vinci Code, piecing together clues, following the trail of these enigmatic knights.
And speaking of hidden trails, let's explore the theory that the Templars didn't actually disappear after their suppression.
Wait, are we talking about secret societies now?
We are.
This is where things get really juicy.
Numerous groups over the centuries have claimed descent from the Templars, ranging from Masonic lodges to organizations with more esoteric beliefs.
The Freemasons are the ones that always come to mind.
Yes, the Freemasons, with their rituals, their symbols, their emphasis on secrecy and brotherhood.
There are some who even trace their origins back to the medieval stonemasons who built those magnificent Gothic cathedrals.
The builders of sacred spaces.
While a direct lineage from the Templars hasn't been definitively proven, the parallels in their symbolism and philosophies are certainly intriguing.
They both share values of morality, charity, and the pursuit of knowledge.
And the Freemasons' use of symbols like the compass and square, the all-seeing eye, and the letter G, some believe those contain veiled references to Templar beliefs and practices.
Symbols within symbols, hidden meanings waiting to be deciphered.
Even their rituals, with those initiation ceremonies, secret handshakes, and allegorical stories, could be seen as remnants of Templar traditions passed down through generations.
A hidden legacy preserved through time.
Whether there's a direct historical link or not, the very idea of a secret society carrying on the Templar legacy taps into our fascination with the hidden and the forbidden.
It's the allure of the unknown, the whispers of secret knowledge and power passed down through the ages.
It makes you wonder if there are forces at play in the world that we can't even fathom, shaping events from behind the scenes.
The puppet masters of history, pulling the strings.
Okay, now let's venture into even more esoteric territory.
Are you ready to explore the possibility that the Templars possessed secret knowledge?
Bring it on. Ancient mysteries, forbidden texts. Let's go deep.
Some believe that during their time in the East, the Templars acquired knowledge that challenged church doctrines and threatened the established order.
Knowledge that could shake the very foundations of society.
We're talking about connections to Gnosticism, Hermeticism, those ancient mystery schools that offered alternative paths to spiritual enlightenment.
Paths that diverged from the strict dogma of the church.
Exactly. These traditions emphasize personal experience, symbolism, and the pursuit of hidden truths.
It makes you wonder if the Templars, these warrior monks sworn to defend the faith, were also seeking knowledge that lay beyond the confines of that faith.
Knowledge is power, as they say.
And when you look at Templar symbolism, it's easy to see how these theories took hold.
The red cross on a white background, for example, has been interpreted as representing the union of opposites, a concept central to many esoteric traditions.
Balance, harmony, the interplay of light and darkness.
And the pentagram, with its 5 points, has been linked to everything from the 5 wounds of Christ to the 5 elements, even the 5 senses.
It's like their symbols are whispering secrets, inviting us to decipher their hidden meanings.
Whether or not the Templars possessed any secret knowledge, their story has become a canvas onto which people project their own beliefs and desires.
A mirror reflecting our own search for meaning and understanding.
Perhaps that's the most valuable lesson we can take away from exploring the Templar myth.
That history is more than just a collection of facts and dates.
It's a tapestry woven from interpretation, imagination, and the enduring human quest for meaning.
The Templars, whether they were heretics, guardians of sacred relics, or simply skilled warriors and financiers, continue to fascinate us because their story speaks to something deep within us.
A yearning for adventure, A hunger for knowledge, a fascination with the mysteries that lie hidden beneath the surface of history.
Well said.
Now, before we move on to part 3, where we'll delve into some of the most popular Templar-related theories, the Holy Grail, the Shroud of Turin, and more, let's take a moment to reflect.
I know I'm already hooked.
What has resonated with you most so far? What questions are still swirling in your mind?
Share your thoughts and theories with us, and we'll explore them together as we continue our deep dive into the captivating world of the Knights Templar.
Welcome back, fellow history buffs. We're in the final stretch of our deep dive into the world of the Knights Templar.
And what a journey it's been.
We've dug deep into their origins, their rise and fall, explored the mysteries of their treasure, and the theories about their potential survival.
But we've saved some of the most popular and intriguing theories for last.
Theories that have captivated the imagination for centuries.
Theories that continue to spark debate and fuel those late-night internet rabbit holes. Exactly. So let's tackle them head-on, starting with the one that's practically synonymous with the Templars, the Holy Grail.
Ah, the Holy Grail.
Said to be the cup used by Jesus at the Last Supper.
A relic of immense spiritual significance.
But what's fascinating is how its connection to the Templars even developed.
It's a later addition to their story.
So, are you saying the Grail wasn't part of the original Templar narrative?
Precisely.
So where did it come from?
The first written mention of the Grail appears in a 12th century romance, Percival, the Story of the Grail, written by Chrétien de Troyes.
That's almost a century after the Templar Order was founded.
It seems the Grail was woven into the Templar narrative later, as their reputation for secrecy and mystery grew.
So as the Templars became associated with the unknown, the Grail, with its own aura of mystery, became attached to them.
And as the Grail legend evolved, it took on layers of meaning beyond just being a physical object.
What kind of meanings?
It came to represent spiritual purity, divine knowledge, the quest for enlightenment.
I can see how that would resonate with those trying to unlock the secrets of the Templars.
Absolutely. And our sources mention several locations linked to the Grail.
Places like Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland.
Ah, yes, Rosslyn Chapel with its intricate carvings and enigmatic symbolism.
It's like a magnet for Grail seekers.
But it's important to remember that those connections are largely based on speculation and interpretation.
No concrete evidence linking the Templars to Rosslyn.
None whatsoever.
And then there's Rennes-le-Château in France, a place practically synonymous with Templar conspiracies.
Ah, yes, Rennes-le-Château, where fact and fiction blur.
Fueled by those fabricated documents and that desire to link the Templars to the bloodline of Jesus and Mary Magdalene.
It's a captivating story, but one that lacks credible evidence.
So while the Grail legend is undeniably fascinating, it's crucial to approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism.
As with all things Templar.
The Grail, much like the Templars themselves, has become a symbol onto which people project their own beliefs and desires.
A blank canvas for our collective imagination.
All right, let's move on to another relic shrouded in mystery and controversy. The Shroud of Turin.
The Shroud of Turin.
That linen cloth, believed by some to bear the image of Jesus after his crucifixion.
A relic that has been the subject of intense scientific scrutiny and religious debate.
It's amazing how one artifact can evoke such strong emotions and passionate arguments.
What's particularly interesting about the shroud is the timing of its appearance.
Meaning?
It first surfaces in the historical record in 1357, decades after the suppression of the Templars.
That's a pretty significant gap.
And it was supposedly presented by the widow of Geoffrey de Charny.
One of the Templar leaders executed alongside Jacques de Molay.
Precisely.
So the shroud emerges just as the Templar legend is gaining momentum.
It makes you wonder if there was a deliberate attempt to connect the two.
Maybe to enhance the shroud's mystique or suggest the Templars possessed secret relics?
It's certainly a possibility.
And then we have that mysterious temple comb painting discovered hidden in a former Templar building.
Ah, yes, the hidden painting.
Depicting the head of a bearded man.
Some believe it might be a visual reference to the Shroud of Turin.
A coded message hidden in plain sight.
The fact that it was hidden suggests it was considered important, perhaps even sacred.
So, could this be evidence that the Templars were entrusted with the shroud, or at least knew of its existence?
The evidence is circumstantial, but the connection is certainly intriguing.
It adds another layer to the intricate web of Templar lore.
A web woven with threads of history, mystery, and speculation.
Okay, let's revisit that accusation that the Templars worshipped a head.
The mysterious head.
This bizarre claim, found in some of the trial transcripts, has generated endless interpretations.
Was it a real head? A relic? or perhaps a metaphorical representation of some esoteric belief.
Our sources even mention the possibility of a mummified head, one that could answer questions and grant wealth.
That's where the line between history and folklore really blurs.
It does, but it's important to remember the context of these accusations.
The Templars were accused of heresy.
And the image of a secret society worshiping a severed head played right into those existing anxieties about paganism and the occult.
Exactly. It was a powerful and damning image.
So this head, whether real or imagined, became a symbol of their supposed deviance, a tangible representation of their alleged betrayal of Christian orthodoxy.
It's a reminder that history is often written by the victors.
And that accusations can be just as potent as facts in shaping public perception.
The Templars, regardless of their guilt or innocence, were victims of a power struggle.
Their story was manipulated to serve the interests of those who sought their destruction.
A cautionary tale for all time.
Well, here we are at the end of our deep dive into the world of the Knights Templar.
A world of history, mystery, and enduring fascination.
We've explored the facts, the myths, the legends, and the symbolism.
And we're left with more questions than answers.
But that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
The Templars continue to challenge us, to make us think critically, to explore the unknown, and to grapple with the complexities of history and its interpretations.
It's not about finding definitive answers, but about understanding how these stories have endured and how they continue to shape our understanding of the world.
The Templars represent a potent mix of history, mystery, and symbolism.
A mix that continues to resonate deeply within our collective imagination.
Perhaps that's their most lasting treasure.
The ability to inspire curiosity, wonder, and the pursuit of knowledge, even centuries after their demise.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey.
It's been an adventure.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop seeking those hidden truths buried beneath the surface of history.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive for another exploration into the fascinating world of history's unsolved mysteries.